Yeah, we're recording. Make sure that's up there. Yep. Hi, everybody. This is Jason Keaton, and I am with Stephanie Blair. How you doing this morning?
Hi, good morning. Doing very well.
All right. So we're going to talk about probably a lot of stuff today. But can you tell me a little bit about about who you are and kind of your professional background?
I'm Stephanie Blair. I'm a physical therapist here in Columbus, and I've been working in the field for about 5 years.
Okay. And who do you work with mostly?
I work mostly with active duty military in an orthopedic setting, so outpatient, post-op surgeries.
Okay, great. So, what is with going on? So, obviously, we're going to talk about COVID-19 and a lot of stuff that I'm concerned about myself is people are working out a lot at home, or they're not working out at all. maybe both it could be bad, right? So,
Yeah.
like sitting is going to cause imbalances, and then exercising incorrectly can cause imbalances. So that's kind of one of the things that I want to talk about. And just, anything else you kind of want to discuss relating to this would be good. So what are some exercises? Like if I was working out at home and I don't have any weights, and I just want to kind of maintain my health, what are the main exercises I should be focusing on?
Well, there's a lot, but let me take you back to the mental aspect of it. First, we all need to understand in this time period where we may be a little more sedentary than usual, the principle of a dollar saved is more than a pound earned. Like, it's so easy to lose it, it's so hard to get it back. So I challenge all of you, hold on to what you have with the little things you can do throughout the day for your mobility and your strength and your cardio endurance.
Yeah.
And I also want to say, I remember quite a while ago, I asked you what kind of strengthening and conditioning does someone need to do before they hit the mat?
Yeah.
And you told me, just come to the mat. Just bring what you have. And that's where we're at right now. Like, everybody has something. So this morning we're going to talk about using what you have and build upon it.
Great. Perfect.
So I say, just a simple example to start us off. You're brushing your teeth in the morning. You're standing up. Go ahead and pump out 30 calf raises. Just get your legs warmed up. There's a lot of moments throughout the day where we can actually contract our muscles to use them and get the blood flowing in them. Or if you're brushing your teeth, maybe you just want to squat down into a full static squat. Just hold it. Stretch your legs out, stretch your hamstrings and your glutes out. Let everything be loose before you start the day. This is good. As opposed to, unfortunately, the older population, maybe we are standing, holding ourselves up with our hands because their back hurts so bad. It's a rough morning. You can't straighten up.
I got an electric toothbrush, so I'm not even doing that. So I'm just like, yeah. So I better squat, right?
Don't tell me that. No, I'm just kidding you.
So listen, when you say like a static squat, you mean as low as you can get, or just like something to, just like low, right?
I would say as low as you can get. So if you're doing maybe like 90-degree squat, 90-degree angle or lower, you're engaging your muscles. But if you settle down into a full squat, like your body weight is just hanging on your legs, that's a good stretch.
Yeah, it's a great stretch. Now, I do that. So this is something that when I first started doing it was impossible to do like 30 seconds. And they said you need to be able to do that for at least 2 minutes. What are some ways we could build into that? And what are some safety concerns with that kind of low squat?
Well, your center of balance. Some people with a loss of mobility will lower down into that and they're going to fall on their bottom, but that's okay. You got some cushion there. Yeah. So you just work it every day, hold it a little bit longer, and you'll find that your tissues will start to adapt. They'll start to stretch out. It may be a little more difficult, say if you put in a tough workout the day before and everything's sore and painful and stiff anyways. But just work it a little bit every day. Use every moment that you have to do it. For instance, maybe you go to the bathroom and you just discipline yourself. After every time I wash my hands, I just go down into a full squat, hold it for 10 seconds. And that repetitive conditioning of the muscles will help it come along and you'll improve your mobility.
Great. And when, we're talking about this squat, the reason I started doing it was because when I was working at Fort Benning, I found myself sitting too long. And it was worse than like doing anything. Like if I was teaching classes, then I was good. But if I was sitting like doing some paperwork, then I found that it was killing my back. So is this a good one for people that are working remotely? And also basically if I'm working remotely or not, the low squat, the static squat sounds like that might be one of the best things we could do at home. Right?
Yes. Most definitely. The static squat addresses the mobility at the ankles and the knees, the hips, and the lumbar spine. So yeah, that is like the biggest bang for your buck, for sure. And sitting at a desk really does set up for muscular imbalances. I heard you mention that at the end. That is so key. It's so true. Ironically, though, I have this theory that during this time of, more sedentariness, some of you who have pushed yourselves into significant muscular imbalances will decondition a little bit to your own benefit. That's my theory. Don't put too much on it. But that's okay to do a little bit of relaxing and then rebuilding. So
yeah, especially right now. I've attempted yoga over the years and different things, and every time I have like a yoga instructor, they'll be like, "Wow, you're so flexible one way and really bad the other way." And I think it's just from doing so much jujitsu and like wrestling and stuff. So it's just like, yeah, you might be great one way, but it's the other side. So that'd be a good thing to do right now, I would say. So we were talking about imbalances. What are some things that you think people need to be aware of during this time of being sedentary to pay attention to?
Good question. We have to understand that the body can move in several different directions. One of the directions is called the sagittal plane. That's forwards and backwards. A lot throughout the day, we move in a forward or flexion kind of motion, especially for the spine and the hips. If you're doing a lot of that, a lot of sitting, a lot of forward bending throughout the day, or just slouching down on the sofa, you want to balance that out with some extension movements. Stand up straight, bend back a little bit, stretch back, maybe lay down on your stomach and do a nice press up where your lumbar spine is nice and extended back, and just work that extension, kind of keep that balance. It will help a lot.
Yeah. Now, obviously I do, or try to do as much jujitsu as I can, and guitar too. And they're both kind of like this kind of forward thing. So I've noticed, and they say that like what'd you call it? A press up where you're like, yeah, they said that's like one of the most important things for jujitsu, but it sounds like it's one of the most important things in general, just to create an imbalance.
We could do a whole segment on the press up. It has been an amazing tool to use to address a lot of things. It's good to hear that you're doing it.
Yeah, I think I have to do it, especially because, right now, especially when we're talking about martial arts schools, I mean, and just general fitness anyway, a lot of people suddenly are mobility experts. It's like out of nowhere. It's like, oh yeah, but I've been doing this. Yeah, I've never heard them do it. You know what I mean?
It's like the knee strengthening.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah. So it's like, I didn't know you knew this, but I mean, I actually have done a lot of it myself. So, like what they call gymnastica naturelle, and I got some of my stuff from the Russian stuff. And the one thing though that I think that people don't pay attention to is like the little details on the press up, right? So, what are some things like when you're doing that you need to be aware of when you're doing that exercise?
That is a great question, and you're right. I think some of the confusion comes from previous exercises that are really similar, like the bend and flex or the cobra from yoga.
Yeah.
The difference with the press up is that you want to keep your entire body relaxed, especially the glutes, that lumbopelvic region, the low back and the glutes, which is quite challenging for the athletic population. because those muscles are utilized a lot. So naturally they're going to turn on strong and hold a contraction. But you want to be nice and loose. So if this is your back, here is your waist, you want to keep yourself from the waist down on the table and relaxed, and then you'll press your upper body up off the table, making a nice curve in the back. It's all relaxed. The only thing that's working are your arms to hold you up. And that will accomplish, with all the muscles relaxed, what we call a spinal mobilization. And it really stretches everything out. So that's a bit different from the Cobra, maybe where you'd have an active extension using all the muscles to hold yourself up.
Yeah, clenching your glutes. They're like, sometimes they're like, clench your glutes.
Clench the glutes with the press up. For some people, it actually makes them feel a little bit worse. So
yeah, I got it. So far we've talked about a squat. We've talked about a press up, which is kind of like a Cobra, but not. Okay. And there's a lot of exercises, obviously. And what about, you mentioned cardio, especially. What are some things like, obviously, people, if you haven't been doing cardio, sometimes it's a tough time to start, but now is kind of a good time to start because you're just so bored, right? So
it's true. First, for this season, it's going to be like, identify where you're comfortable. Because obviously, if I tell a person, you could just go kick the ball around outside or do a few laps around the house, immediately I hear, oh, but the pollen. And that's legitimate if you have asthma, but you want to identify that environment in which you're comfortable. Do you get overheated? Do you need to make sure you got a fan going? You're going to be inside. Run in place, lay on your back, do some bicycle kicks. You can even set up your bike to be stationary if you buy one of these things that hooks on the wheel and makes it
like
a stationary
trainer.
bike. Yeah, trainer. Thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of people have something that they can either do inside or outside to keep that cardio. You just need to get your heart rate up. Even if you have stairs in the house, up and down, up and down, up and down. Grab some kettlebells while you go up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah. If you can find them. If you can find some kettlebells, good luck.
Yeah, I think, part of it is just being creative, because there's 100 different ways to make your heart beat. So
right. And I think, though, that a lot of people have their kids at home right now. And I think playing with the kids, playing a game of tag with the kids, if you're an adult and you haven't played tag with kids recently, I want to tell you that it is so hard. And though they might not be faster than you, they have the agility over you. They're just it's like amazing if they're like,
yeah, this is spontaneous. You can't tell which way they're going.
Yeah, it is very tough. It's like, man, I during kids classes, like, okay, guys, we're gonna play a little freeze tag, and I'm it. And I'm like, man, after I catch them all, I'm just like, okay, I don't know if I can train the rest of the day. It's like it's gonna be 8 minutes, but it's like full bore, and they're fine, So if you really want to gauge your cardio, you can train with your kids.
I love hearing you say that. A lot of people tell me, I want to get back to playing with my kids because they recognize that recreational time is part of their exercise.
Yeah, and it's great. So there's a lot of things we're doing we have a lot of parents. Obviously, we're doing a lot of stuff online, and we have a lot of parents that are working out with the kids. They're like, I'm working out with my kids. We'll do like exercises, and the parents are doing it too. And yeah, and then we're starting to do like parent workouts in the morning, and then the kids are doing it. So it's just everybody's getting a chance to train right now.
That's awesome, and kids love it. They want to exercise with you when they see you doing it. I encourage a lot of people to do that, just knowing that it's like, I don't want to exercise alone. I'm like, start doing something. Your kids are going to do it with you.
They're going to do it with you. And what I was surprised about, honestly, is we have like a lot of the young kids that, like 4 years old, and okay, we'll have a 30-minute workout. And I'm like, well, the kid's there too, right? The parents there and the kids there. I was like, well, this 4-year-old isn't going to last. No, they stick around the whole time. I was very surprised, especially like if they're 5, they definitely will do it. They're pumped to do it. So I think, playing with your kids is a great thing. Now, with all this going on, is there anything that you have seen as far as people falling into bad habits or, anything with the quarantine that is occurring that you'd recommend people kind of stop doing?
Um, I think the one thing that we can all relate to is fear, just fear in general. It kind of keeps you still because you're in your head. But movement, any kind of movement, even, us talking now is just engage in something, socializing, movement, do something around your house, a project, just kind of keep that going. I think the rest of it will follow. But fear is definitely a paralyzer. We all have our moments throughout the day. Things are changing and we're trying to adapt very quickly. But don't hang out there too long. Just get up and move, keep moving, keep your mind moving, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, really good. So, I just want to try to talk to you a little bit about shoulders, because I think we talked before about the shoulders. People slump. You know what I mean? Especially if they're working at home. So is that go back to the back bend, or what are some things they could do while they are working? If they have to work at home and type on a computer, what's some things they could do with their shoulders, or like little kind of desk stretches while they're working?
That's a good question. First, it's important to understand the anatomy. The shoulder is connected to your trunk, your spine, and so just maintaining a neutral posture throughout the day. If you aren't sure what a neutral posture is, or if you have one, I'm sure you can probably Google it and look at the alignment of the body. But you want to basically have your ears over your shoulders, shoulders over the hips, and try to maintain or reset yourself in that posture. Why do I say that? Research has shown us that as the hours pass throughout the day, if we're sitting at a computer, we get kind of pulled into a forward or slumped posture. Now, you say, what does that have to do with the shoulders? Well, the shoulders will round forward and they will get stretched out. There's a lot of stress on the joints and the nerves and the cardiovascular system that comes through the front of the shoulder. So that sets you up for a fantastic mechanical disadvantage, meaning you're going to have some aches and pains while you're sitting there. And then certainly when you go to the gym to work out, it'll probably be a little bit more because you've been sitting at a mechanical disadvantage all day. Now you're trying to do a high performance activity from a mechanical disadvantage. And that's when you come see me.
That's right. That's how you get hurt, right? Yeah, for sure.
So just neutral posture. And you notice I keep bringing back to just like fundamental stuff because it is really true. If you can just kind of understand the basics, you really can win most of the time.
Yeah. And I think that's true with, if we're talking about lifting, especially in lifting, they're talking about having a strong core. You don't want to flex your back too much. You want to have kind of like, keep your spine correct and your trunk strong and all that stuff. So yeah, when people really kind of talk about the exercise portion of it, they typically, it is that stuff, those basics, but that should be added on to the basics of, you're going to be more time, at work, at home than at the gym. The gym might be like, some people probably like they go 2 hours, but I don't really know what they're doing. Like 45 minutes most for me, then it's like I do my squats and do whatever the accessory exercise is. And then I'm out,
Yeah, there you go. Just keep it efficient. And, understanding too that the body is mechanical. It's a lot of systems of levers and pulleys. And this is one thing that when I was introduced to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, my mind was immediately engaged because it's all about understanding the mechanics and movement and leverage. And so we even have that going on while we're sitting here talking now. And understanding the weight distribution and the mechanics of the body and just how to keep yourself at a mechanical advantage is really important during this time, especially when people are maybe sitting a little more to be on these kinds of calls during the day with their coworkers and so on.
Yeah, for sure. I wrote a paper years ago about the 3 types of levers and how they could be used in martial arts. And it was just so nerdy that people were like, what? Unless you're like, like other guys were like, yeah, this is good, but they were like, like into the medical field or whatever. But, the average guy was like, I don't know about this. I don't know what this weirdo's talking about. So great. So yeah, especially in jiu-jitsu, we talk a lot about that stuff, but the staying neutral with the spine is a big part of it. And all that. So, that's pretty good, I think. So do you have any other thing you would like to, tips you'd like to give people that are working out at home or, kind of just, how can they not be more sedentary? What are some strategies maybe to get themselves up and going?
Get yourself your good playlist, make a time, make a plan, make a purpose, set it on your phone. Today at 2:00, I've got my music, I've got my water, I'm ready to go. Just be really purposeful about it. And that's the great thing about, your gym. You've got all the times. It's any gym, any location, plan. It happens when you plan and have a time. So do that for yourself at home. It's just the same as if you would be doing it regularly. So.
Yeah, I've got a workout planned for the parents today. So I'm going to start doing it where it's like, hey, this is the workout, and we're going to add it to our Facebook group. So if they miss it during the live, but the live thing, a lot of people show up for the live workouts because they know if, they're on the live workout, they're going to do it. So
yeah, exactly.
It's really good. Well, okay. Well, I think that's pretty good. And I definitely appreciate your time this morning. So thank you so much. We definitely appreciate it, Stephanie.
My pleasure. Y'all have a good day.
All right. You too. Bye-bye. I got to get close, Oh, it moved. All right. All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.